Greetings and good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, if you are with me, if you are here, please do tag people, invite other community members in, grab a pen and paper because we are about to take a ride around giving, and I'm so excited to do so. So, I'm going to give folks a couple of minutes just to tune in, to yawn and wake up. Well, good morning, Aisha. Good morning. Thank you for being the first one. Please do grab pen and paper because we are going to do an exercise around our explorations or our manifestations of giving and receiving in our lives. Good morning, Alexia. Alexia is my support person this morning, so I'm really looking forward to co-creating this space. Good morning, Kaisha. So if you're just tuning in, good morning, Sister Joycey, my sissy. Um, Please grab pen and paper so that we can do an exercise around giving. Um, Kishana, thank you. Good morning. I'm so happy to have you here. And once again, grab pen and paper, Tijuana, so that we can take a deep dive into the conversation about giving. So Alexia is going to be supporting me this morning with the conversation. So she is going to be posting some things. She'll echo some things that I'm saying. She is masterful at this. So if you miss something, she'll support by just putting the words back in the chat so that you can get acquainted, get connected, get clear. I am sweating because what I did was like, I need to take a shower for this conversation. I need to get myself together. I need to ground myself. I did some exercise this morning so that I could give freely from a grounded space. So y'all forgive me for sweating it up over here. This is an important conversation. So I think it's deserving of some sweat, right? Because we're talking about why we give. And when we give, there's an energy exchange. So I think it's a conversation worthy of sweat. So if you're just joining, good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Robin. Please do grab pen and paper. Please do. Hey, Kathleen. So that we can get right to it. It is 7:01, so I'm going to give maybe another minute and a half for folks to join in. I wanted to talk about this years ago, I'm exaggerating. Maybe 3 years ago, Spirit gave me a nudge around giving because I'm a person that gives a lot in my life, a lot of time, a lot of attention. I engage in healing processes, training, and development of people. During the course of my day, people reach out to me all the time via text, via call. When we were more engaged physically, I was doing a lot of physical exchange with people. Just being in their space, and I'm very sensitive to energy. So that exchange sometimes would create like a heavy load on my body, and not judging it, like it's part of what I do, but just not always giving myself the opportunity, and I'm focusing on giving myself an opportunity to really release and ground myself. And so, I was just started thinking about the reasons why I give to different people in different situations, and I got profoundly connected to the fact that there are some low vibrational, high vibrational ways in which I give to people, and needed to really look at adjusting that and creating some levels of balance. So now that we have folks in, hey Jennifer, in the space, I want to invite you to not just to get pen and paper, but also get some water, because we're going to give to ourselves throughout this process. We're going to give breath of life. We're going to nourish our bodies and our cells with water. So please run wherever you are. If you're at home, go to your kitchen. If you don't have water in a bottle or filtered water or ionized water or whatever it is that you normally have, just grab some water from the faucet. It's about intention. And I'm giving enough water off here for everybody because I am sweating because I just got out of a hot bathroom and a hot shower. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sweat my way through this. So Darnice, Kathy, everybody who's just joined, grab water, grab pen and paper, so that we can be ready to rock and roll. So it is 7:03. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. So to begin, and once again, you can grab pen and paper while I'm talking, and you can grab your water. You're not going to miss anything because I have a partner in Alexia who's going to support the conversation and drop things in the chat. So Lex, if you can give instruction to folks that need to do it. And please tag people. Normally I'm the one in the morning tagging everybody. So if you know that there's somebody that needs to be in this conversation, rather than say, oh, they'll watch the replay, they may not. They may not see it. They may not be acquainted with the fact that this is here for them to tap into and to explore. So please tag folks. Do me a solid. If you know other people that are in this space with us, tag them. so that we can all be together and we can co-create a really powerful exchange around giving. So the topic is, why do we give, right? Unpacking the source of our generosity. So, whew, what a big topic. So I wanted to start off with just sharing that we need to be grounded as we engage in this conversation. So I'm going to ask that we all take a breath, give our bodies the breath of life, give our bodies the breath of life. So if you could ground yourself, and thank you all for tagging people and calling people into the space. Just think about who's normally in our Wake Up community, who you chat with when we're in the Zoom space, and call them into the space so that we can be here. Welcome, Dina. I've been missing you, Dina. We've been missing you in the Zoom space, so come on back, girl, and invite others. So thank you for being here. So unpacking the source of our giving, before we do that, let's ground ourselves, put our feet flat on the ground, and close our eyes. Close your eyes. Hey, Cherie. And I'm going to ask that you just still yourself and give yourself a moment in time where you are just deeply engaged in you. Give yourself a moment. We say that a lot, or some of us do. Give me a minute. Give me a sec. I'm just going to ask that you take that on. Give yourself a moment as a gift, and like ask you to tune in. And with our five senses, we can really have a mindful moment. So some of us just woke up, or some of us have been up for a while, or maybe we've eaten something, or we've had a cup of coffee or tea, or we drank some water already or not. So I'm going to ask that you activate the taste buds and give yourself a sec to tune into the taste on your tongue. Mine is toothpaste. I brushed my teeth before I landed in this seat this morning. So what's the taste? Give yourself a sec to tune into the taste in your mouth. And why would you give yourself that second to tune in? Like, what's the taste in your mouth? Is it the taste of hunger? Some people use the term, I have a bad taste in my mouth, but it's not even about what's on the palate. It's about the energy. I love that. That the vibration can give you a taste in your mouth. And now I invite you to tune into your hearing. I know you're hearing my voice, but give yourself a sec. Give yourself a sec to tune into what the sounds are around you. I'm just going to quiet myself. What are the sounds around you? Give yourself that gift. Tune in. My sound is the fan and the cars moving outside. And now that you've activated those two senses, I'm going to ask you to tune into your sense of touch. Give yourself a sec to tune into the sense of touch. If you're sitting in your bed or lying down, if you're on a chair like me, I feel the hardness of the chair against my buttocks. I have one hand on top of the other hand in my lap. I feel the sweat on my hands. I feel the sweat underneath my lip and my chin. Give yourself a sec to feel the touch that your skin is experiencing, that sensation. Give it to yourself. And so now I ask that you activate your sense of smell. Give yourself a sec to smell. Take a deep breath and smell what's happening around you. Some of us use incense or sage to prepare ourselves for the wake-up moments. Some of you use scented candles, or some of you might be smelling things that are customarily around in your space, potpourri, or one of those plugins. Or maybe you got up this morning and you put your deodorant on after a shower and lotion and you smell perfume. Some of us can't smell anything. And then finally, I invite you to open your eyes and engage in the sense of sight. What do you see? You see my face. You see what's going on around me and back of me. You see the picture of my 3 children when they were younger, teenagers, and my son was 1 year old. You see me sweating. Woo. Like I said, I jumped in the shower and out. It's all perfect. The element of water covers us all right now inside of our bodies. And so we give thanks. We give thanks for all our 5 senses. And now let's take a deeper dive. So, good morning, Katrina. Thank you for being here. I acknowledge your presence and for you giving time and space and energy to this conversation. So in the chat, in the box below, I want you to activate your hands, your thumbs, your fingers, however you type. If you're on a laptop or an iPad, whatever device you're using, I want you to give a word or phrase to define giving. Please do define giving. Put that out there. Define giving. We will engage in the process of unpacking, but this is a co-created space. Someone asked me to increase the sound. I shall. I will speak louder. It may be my iPad, so forgive me. Define giving, if you will. Drop into the chat. There's a bit of a delay. What's your definition for giving? You can use one word. Love. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kenitra. Love. I love that we're starting with the foundation of love. What else? Selfless. Thank you. Selflessness. Giving, sharing. Thank you. Define giving. Let's get a couple more. Selfless generosity. Thank you, Keela. Sacrifice. Thank you so much. The exchange of goods and services. Thank you, Darnice. Sharing of self, time, financial resources, emotional and mental self. Yes. There's an aspect of giving that's it's all about energy exchange and vibration. It requires thought. It requires being and doing. And so the difference in being and doing in this conversation of being a giver, being generous, is a vibration and the energy that we take in. We internalize it and then we give it out. And then as a result, based on the spiritual principle of reciprocity, you get something back. But some of us are expecting to give something back that is not about the energy of generosity. It's about the energy of manifesting and possibly from a low vibrational space. So I wanted to have a conversation brief because I'm going to unpack this more when I do this session in full force in August, just talking about the foundation of the source of our giving. So with pen and paper, I want you to write out the most recent experiences that you've had of giving. It's the exchange of energy, the exchange of vibration, presenting something to someone or an institution, because we give to institutions, we give to people, we give to places, we give to things. Some of us are planters. We pour water into the soil to make our flowers grow. So that's a form of giving as well. So there's all types of giving that are happening all the time. When we feed our bodies, we're giving our bodies nourishment, maybe, depending on what we're giving our bodies. And sometimes we give our bodies nourishing food, but the mindset that we have when we're doing it can counter what it is that we're trying to do and create for ourselves. So if you're giving your body salad because you have a low vibrational viewpoint about your body, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm not enough. And so you're feeding your body nourishing food from a space, or giving your body nourishing food from a space of low vibration and thoughts about yourself that don't serve yourself, then your giving will land on concrete as opposed to fertile soil. So who in here has given to your body from a low vibrational space? Drink, food, you may apply or give yourself a makeover, but it has been from a low vibrational space. Doing it because you want to please and appease others, or you want to look good, Please do put that in the chat if you can relate to what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about physical body, like giving to your physical body, eating specific things, putting specific things on because you are trying to look good from a low vibrational space. What is the source of your giving to yourself, right? So I'm going to ask once again that you put on your paper just at least 5, if you can get 10 out of yourself for the time that we have, because we have 16 minutes left and we can do a lot in 16 minutes. Write a list of ways in which you have given different things to yourself, to other people, to institutions over the last 7 to 14 days. So sit with it and then write it out. And I'm asking you to give yourself the ritual of writing so that you can activate something. Good morning, Sauda. So on your paper, I have it too. Write down ways in which you've given. And then I'm going to explore with you or have you look at the source of your giving. Oh, so Jennifer says, I put on lipstick to feel better. Feel better about what? Feel better about what? Because once again, we can do these things for ourselves to like amplify our beauty or to shift our physical beingness. And it comes from a low vibrational space because you feel like you're old, or you feel like this person is not going to be attracted to me if I don't look this particular way, or you've been told all your life that you're too dark or you're too light. So you put and apply, you give yourself the makeover or the makeup, right? The makeup so that you can address this low vibrational thing that you've been carrying all along. So please, notes okay to type, yes. Activate your hands, and I ask if you can to use a physical pen and paper. There's something about scribing that energizes a particular messaging that you're seeking to get. I'm big on like auditory writing or auto writing, so that, is it auditory? Not auto. It might, somebody look it up for me. A type of writing that allows spirit to speak through you. So on your list, write the things that you've given out from a place of deficit or a place of overflow. So overflow means like you're abundant in your life. You have a high vibrational thought about this situation you're giving to or this person that you're giving to. Coming from your overflow means that there's joy and pleasure in the act and engagement. And even that, look at it like, you know, sometimes our sources of joy we give, but our sources of joy and pleasure come from a low vibrational space. There's so many layers to this. And I'm asking you to unpack with intentionality so we can get crystal clear about where we're giving from. And then we can transform that so we can give from a higher vibration and experience reciprocity as designed by the universe, by God, by the goddess, by Allah, whatever energies that you honor in this space. So did it come from deficit giving, giving out of a space of obligation, giving out of a space of manipulation, giving out of a space of guilt or shame, giving out of a space of wanting accolades or to look good out of your giving out of a space of power hoarding or a desire to manifest power in a specific way? That's deficit giving. So Alexia, if you can put in giving from a space of deficit or giving from a place of overflow, in a space of already existing abundance in you and generosity. The word generosity, and I'm saying a lot because we don't have a lot of time, but we have plenty of time, right? Because time is relative. Time is a gift to us all. It's 7:17, so we have 13 minutes. We can go a lot of spaces. Good morning, Tracy, in this conversation. And we can continue this exploration afterwards. And once again in August, I'm going to unpack this even deeper and coach people in the whole 9. So in 13 minutes, write on your list next to the things that you've outlined, are you giving from a place of deficit or are you giving from a place of overflow? Once again, if you just joined us, like Tracy, deficit giving. So you're doing a list, Tracy, of things that you've given over the last 7 to 14 days. Like, so for example, I gave my attention to multiple people yesterday because I did one-on-one sessions. I did meetings. I had impromptu conversations with people. Yesterday, what else did I give? A couple of days ago, I gave money towards a homegoing service. Not the service, but I gave money towards someone who had lost a relative. Trying to think of other things. I've given to people's businesses over the last 7 to 14 days. So just looking at those spaces and places where you've given time, attention. You may have made love to somebody or had sex with someone, because we're not always making love, from a place of deficit or a place of overflow. So on your list, right next to it, rigorous honesty. What space were you giving from? Deficit or overflow? Time, attention, information, affection. Where are you giving from? And look at it. Rigorous honesty means tell yourself the absolute truth, even if it flips your belly. Where did you give from? From your list. And if you haven't created a list, create the list. And you have a question about what it is that I'm saying, please do. Please do put the question up, and then, Alexia or myself will capture it. I'm focusing on giving more of the message right now than answering the questions, because remember, I'm doing this whole session in August again for 90 minutes. So your recent giving, the type of giving, deficit giving or overflow giving, and go back over the list. What type of vibration and impact, now that you've looked at it, did that giving posture or vibration manifest? Or what will it manifest now that you're clear? If it was deficit giving and you wrote that from a space of rigorous honesty, right? What's the vibration around that? And then also, what's the impact? So let me give an example. In the past, I've given attention to someone, and it was an intimate partner. I've given attention with the hopes that the person would see the model of my attention giving and give me the attention that I was seeking. Giving them my listening, like deep listening and feedback, using words of affirmation in my giving in the conversation, with the hopes that the person would be able to give back, and speaking on an emotional level, and I'm sharing authentically with the hopes that the person would give back to me, and they did not, because the person had a difficult time sharing transparently, and also their emotional intelligence was low. That muscle was not built up. So I was giving from a low vibrational space, from a place of deficit and desperation, to have that person finally give me conversation and attention from my love language, which is, or two love languages, or the main one is words of affirmation. And I'll talk more about that when we do the larger session. So for some of you who are not familiar with the love languages, there are 5. And you can look them up after this Facebook Live is complete, so you can know what I'm talking about. So the vibration was a very low vibration. I said desperation. It's like, come on, dude, like really. I'm showing you what to do by what I'm saying and what I'm doing in this conversation. Can you give it back, please? And out of that space of desperation, the impact was that I felt resentful when they didn't give it back to me. And the impact was that I was being inauthentic, and I felt a low vibration in myself. And the impact on them is that I made them small by trying to manipulate them into doing what it is that I wanted them to do. So what space, what foundation is your giving coming from? Are you giving from a place of concrete that has no porousness or no ability to give back the energy of reciprocity? Or are you giving from a space of grounded energy, from a place of pure unadulterated generosity, so that that person, that place, that thing can be amplified and edified, and so that you also can grow and expand? And you're not looking for that. That's just a byproduct from giving from a solid foundation. So, giving. What's on your list? I see that Darnice said, I give silence to certain family members to avoid confrontation. Once again, like you said, low vibration. So sometimes I've definitely done that. Silent treatment. I'm not speaking to you. I'm not giving you my time and my attention. But if you really look at it, I'm giving you the most time and attention, because I'm going out of my way to be silent, which is counter to who I am. My purpose on the planet is to utilize the word in all forms to ignite mind, body, and spirit transformation. So anytime I'm giving someone the silent treatment, that's more pain for me than it is for them, because I'm not honoring my purpose. Thank you, Jacqueline. Ghosting, and sometimes ghosting in plain sight. So for some of you, you were part of the session that I did on ghosting. There were 2 sessions, actually, part 1 and 2, that I did on ghosting. So you can literally be in a house with someone and ghost on them by not speaking to them. So I encourage you to really examine your giving. So Nigel says, I give myself time for myself to read, practice yoga, and do what pleases me. Sauda said, deficient, low vibration, my job. It's emotionally draining to show up most days. And then Stacy said, my love language is acts of service. It's the top one, and my partner knows and executes that well. And says, Stacy Transform says, I have healing, and then also overflow. So Stacy, I'm interested in knowing when you give, what is it? You said acts of service, and you operate from that from low vibration. Because I'm also, my second one is acts of service. And when I'm operating in low vibration, sometimes I'm engaging in acts of service from a space of wanting to get something back from someone or something, right? When I'm in a space of low vibration and my ego takes over, my acts of service are connected to being seen, being heard, manifesting some type of outcome. So I encourage you to look at your list. Are you giving from a space of expectation? Are you giving from a space of obligation? Oh, I got to do this one in the 6 minutes that we have left. Obligation or conditioning. Like, so please, please, please type in this chat if you have been conditioned to give by your family, by your culture. Some of us have been conditioned to give in a particular way. In fact, when we were kids in kindergarten or pre-K, we were told sharing is caring, right? So you got to give something to someone. Share your crayons, share your lunch or your snack, because sharing is caring. And when you don't give, then there's something wrong with you. Sometimes we are best served when we're not giving. Sometimes it's best for me to sit still and not be giving my attention or my words to particular people or energy, or not giving so that I can rest up and restore and release, because I'm empathic and I absorb a lot of energy. So sometimes it's best for us to slow it down and stop the pace and not give. So I really want us to look at conditioning and obligation giving. Denise says, I've been conditioned, but from my high vibration self, I love to give. Got that. Conditioned by whom or what, Denise? Jennifer, I missed your share. Let me see if I can bring it back down. This is moving quickly. Thank you all for your time and attention. Jennifer, definitely give time out of obligation. Say more about the impact. So look at the vibration that's present when you're giving out of obligation and what the impact is on you when you do. Laura says, I give time or high vibration money and food over the weekend towards my grandson's blessing ceremony. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alexia, low vibrational, giving from obligation and expectation. Jesse, you're repeating. She's sharing or co-creating the space with me. High vibration from Sauda, exercising in the early AM and being awake while everyone is asleep. Sharing opportunities and let me see if I can open this up. What I learned, Ashe. So Sauda asking, because I'm teasing out rigorous honesty. You and I are in the work of teaching around racial injustice and white supremacy. And so I'm really, really curious about sometimes when you're sharing what you learn, if it sometimes comes from a low vibrational space, especially when people are not aware or they operate from a place of ignorance. So does your giving of your learning turn into low vibration when you have an expectation that they get it, or a judgment around what they know and what they don't know? And what happens with you energetically or physically when they don't get it and when they're not applying the learnings that you teach? Because I've definitely gone into low vibrational space and ego-based giving around what I know when I'm coaching or when I'm training and teaching, especially around the conversations about race, because they can be very activating mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically for me. And then also disappointing when folks turn what it is that I am trying to impart upside down and make it into some sort of attack as opposed to an offering of growth and development. So Nigel says, low vibration, I give silence to my biological father when he says I love you to me instead of affirming the same. Ashe, so you're going to punish and not give from a space of love and authenticity because of that. So we have 2 minutes. Woo! Jesus, Jesus. So conditioned giving. Remember that statement when we're kids? Play nice. Play nice, right? Give niceness even when people are not nice back to you. Give love and affection even when love and affection isn't coming back. Now, I'm not saying that you should not be patient and kind, because, in the biblical verses about patience, love is patient, love is kind, I'm sure from a lot of spiritual disciplines, love is at the center of a lot. But sometimes we've been conditioned to give love and affection and attention and time to people who are toxic, or to situations that are toxic. And I talked about this the other day. There's a term that I write about in my book called toxic tolerance. And we keep giving and showing up like that when what we get back is poisonous. So it's like continuing to stick your hand in the hole with a snake in it and then getting bit over and over and over again and wondering why you feel sick to your stomach, why you're weak, why you're falling out, why you can't function, because you have this toxic energy all around you because you've been conditioned and taught that you have to play nice all the time. And you can release people in love and stop giving in love and just say, no, I'm not doing that right now in our relationship. I do love you, I do care about you, but I can't do that right now. That conditioning to give no matter what, especially as women, is killing us. And so I invite you to really examine deficit giving or giving from overflow, conditioned giving or giving from a place of grounded energy where you are bringing full force love to the conversation, love to the exchange, so the reciprocity that the universe has for us can be given. Not expecting that, but just it's a byproduct. It's just what you get because the universe is designed that way as far as the formula. So what I'm going to ask that we do right now, if you weren't here when we started, I ask that you grab water so we can prepare to close out. And what I'm going to ask that you do as far as what I am giving from a place of grounded energy and love is 2 people in this space will get a one-on-one 60-minute session with me around the source of your giving, like where it's coming from. We'll unpack it together in a one-on-one session. 2 people, but what you have to do, and Alexia will drop this in the chat, is that you would have to inbox me in my private Facebook page. The first 2 people will get an opportunity. And don't go away from the conversation so quickly. So if you can, you have another device, you can jump on, inbox me and say, pick me. And whoever the first 2 people are, I will set up a time over the next 7 days to have a one-on-one conversation with you about the source of your giving, right? So please do that. That's the giveaway for this session. The other thing that I want to talk about before we close out, please grab water because we're going to close out by giving our bodies water from a grounded space. Not because I look terrible, not because, oh, I'm getting so old, I got to drink this water. Not, just from a place of grounded energy. All right, I got the 2 pick-me's. So Denise Renee West, you get an opportunity to have a one-on-one with me, and Alicia, you get an opportunity to have a one-on-one with me. And I'm going to throw in an extra because Kenitra, you were right behind them. Kenitra, I'm going to give you a one-on-one too. So 3 people, y'all were the first 3. I love this. It just popped right on up. All right, so we're going to have our water so that we can bless ourselves and give ourselves nourishment. And the second thing that I will talk about for the women in this space, some of you have already done this, but I'm going to ask you, if you would, to consider joining an introduction for the Be the Tree Rites of Passage Collective. We've been sending out e-blasts for the last several weeks about Be the Tree. And I'm going to ask you, don't be scared. Like, don't make up that you can't do Be the Tree because of money, because there's an absolute tuition that's tied to it. It's $950. Don't make up that you can't do Be the Tree because of time, because we can talk about time and your availability to do it. Be the Tree Rites of Passage Collective is an intergenerational program for adult women. So the youngest woman we've ever had was 19 years old. The eldest was 72 years old. And they both were able to enjoy the presence of one another because they had a desire to transform their relationship with love and affinity in their family relationships, in their intimate partnership, in their friendships. They had to look at their purpose on the planet. 19 and 72 both looked at that. Their physical beingness in their bodies, trauma and wounding that they experienced when they were young. It doesn't matter how old you are in this space. It matters how you show up. So Be the Tree Rites of Passage Collective is designed to support women in moving from one stage and phase of your development to the next, with tools and distinctions that will help you navigate your life. There are graduates in this space right now from Be the Tree, so please put in what it has done for you. So that's the other thing. I invite you to a free introduction session about Be the Tree. The next one was today, Wednesday. The next one is tomorrow night from 6 to 8. And then the one after that, I believe, is on Sunday morning from 11 to 1. And then there's one on Sunday night from 6 to 8. So we'll drop in the registration for Be the Tree. And we can't put the flyer in. I don't think you can put it in the thread. But we will post it on the page for Wake Up after this. So you can see the flyer, get the information, and register. Please join us. I'm about world transformation, and that will happen with women at the helm. That's what I believe. Like, our energy has been left out of the equation for world leadership. And so when we are present to our purpose on the planet, we can give from a grounded space. And I'm giving from my purpose right now, which is, once again, to utilize the word in all forms to ignite mind, body, spirit transformation across the planet. So thank you for helping me do that. So as we prepare to close out, because I'm a little over by 3 minutes, grab your water. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I declare these affirmations for us today, that we give from a grounded space, that we give from our overflow. So I declare, and we will drink to this, that we will give from a space of love. Take your drink. That we will give from a space of dedication to our purpose on the planet, to love and to live freely, and from a space of co-creation. Take your drink. That we will give from a space of affinity, true affinity and groundedness, with affinity with another, one human being to another. Take your drink. That we will give from a space of reciprocity in its highest form. Take your drink. That we will give from a space of growth and development. Not from a place of, oh, I expect, like I'm owed this, but from a space of my giving allows another to grow, another person, place, or thing to grow, and then also allows me to grow. Grow in spirit, grow in mindfulness and presence, grow in power, not from low vibration, but high vibration, grow in presence. Because when I'm giving, I'm fully present. When I'm mindful, I'm fully present to my contribution as a human being, being generous, being generous. So what I will say last, take your drink, that the definition of generosity is of noble birth, right? And so what they meant back in the day was that you were born of nobility and you had resources, so you gave because you had all these resources. But what I'm flipping the script and saying is that you being of noble birth means that you are honoring what you were born to do, which is to love and love abundantly. And up from that love, we give abundantly. So take your drink, and then I'll bid you farewell. So I love each and every one of you. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow we will be back in the Wake Up Everybody space on Zoom. Please invite others. Please invite folks to join this page. Tell them what they're joining and what they're doing, which is transforming mind, body, and spirit every day, experiencing the expertise of others. Please do share that. Please help us all to grow. We declared that Wake Up is a planetary movement, so the only way that we can do that is if we give generously to others by inviting them to join us on this journey. So I love you, I thank you, and I wish you well on your giving journey and your giving muscle building. Peace and blessings.